What's up, Jeremy? You're the lucky guest for my episode number 1.
All right, sounds good.
Second take. See, we're real here. This is literally the second take. Just the fact that after the first take, we needed more context, and I'm always refining myself, just like an athlete. They're always refining, and so I think we're gonna get a better perspective on this podcast. First thing is first is my podcast that I want to set up for you entrepreneurs or you viewers is we're not going to talk about much, but we're going to talk about the money. We're talking about the business. We're talking about the entrepreneurship that doesn't get talked about much because they see the glam, they see the fame, they see what you want them to show.
Yeah.
But to transition from a hobby into a business is totally different. And to make a living out of this, being an athlete, is totally different too. So we're gonna dive a little bit. Jeremy, thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
So congrats, you just stepped off a huge stage. So tell the viewers what stage that was.
Just did the 2017 Mr. Olympia. For those of you that are not familiar with bodybuilding, it is basically the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. The biggest stage of them all, the most prestigious stage of them all, and walked away with a top 5 finish. So 5th in the world is not too shabby. Nothing to feel down about. Just got to continue to work and grind and work my way up.
Nice.
So,
first year, second year?
that was my second Olympia. Last year I did place 3rd. However, just like anything else, everybody continuously works to improve themselves, and this year was no different. So just got to work harder at the next one.
Yeah, I actually saw the lineup this year. We're just gonna dive a little bit more since I have you here. Is the lineup change? The top 5, there's some consistency, but then the first 3 body frame, the last 3 body frame.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a little bit different. It seemed like they were definitely going for size this go around.
Interesting.
Which I'm not complaining about. Size and conditioning is always a good thing to have. But it was very interesting to see some guys that you expect to do really well or either win it get completely pushed out. So
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. No names, but I saw that. But the one consistency I saw is the small waist. They want the waist to be nice and tight. They want the sharp lines, and they want conditioning.
Yeah.
Huge. But it's not like hardcore veiny, grainy conditioning. They want that buttery look to it too.
Yeah, still want to, they like the idea of you start to put in work into your physique to build it into something that is, what's the right word, just kind of crazy to look at, but at the same time attainable in a sort of sense.
100%.
So I feel like that's definitely what they're looking for. They still want that awe factor, but something that your everyday gym goer can achieve.
Correct. And that's why, to be honest, I felt like the last 2 to 3 years within our market, the market took off because bikini is achievable and men's physique is achievable.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be a Phil Heath.
Yeah.
But look up to Phil Heath. Nobody wants to look at like a 212. Everybody looks up to
Flex Lewis.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And then the classic is gonna be the next frontier, and it's gonna be a very exciting division.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely one that I think most people are going to start striving for, more or less now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's dive, guys. Let's dive. So pull back. We're gonna pull back real far. What was baby Jeremy like?
Funny, actually, just spent a lot of the weekend going over that.
That same question?
Yes, I spent the weekend with my family, and they got to meet my girlfriend. So a lot of questions on how I was growing up, and a lot of poking and prying and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
did they bust out the baby pictures?
No baby pictures busted out. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go home and there'll be videos and pictures. But it was a very loud baby, pain in the ass, crybaby.
Yeah.
All of that. My mom said I was the worst out of the 4 of my 3 other siblings. So.
Okay. You were the
loudest.
The youngest, oldest, middle child?
Middle.
Yeah. Okay. I'm the middle child too.
Yeah, I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger sister. So, yeah, but I was just basically a troublemaker.
Okay. Yeah. So from troublemaker to transition to your life. So I'm guessing that's adolescent age.
Yeah, it was just baby through. I mean, I was a troublemaker all the way up until high school. Through high school. But still had decent amount of common sense.
Okay.
Kind of picked up a lot of my traits from my father, not so much from my mother. I was just said I was loud, but at the same time very quiet, antisocial.
Any sports?
Soccer, a little bit of football.
I didn't see soccer coming.
Yeah,
Soccer.
I played soccer from 4 till what was I, like 15?
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good at soccer. I don't think the girlfriend knew that. Yeah.
Not a lot of people, especially like you said, when it comes to social, not everybody gets to know the back end of it. And so when I get to understand what baby Jeremy was like, it gives you a good context on who you are now.
Yeah.
The thing that still throws me off is you like long drives.
Love them.
Yeah.
I love them, regardless of what mood I'm in. It's just something that's peaceful to me.
Yeah.
I could be completely pissed off, and a nice long drive will do it. I can be happy, and going on a long drive will make me even happier. So it's just soothing for the mind.
And
as long as you're not in Cali traffic.
Peak hours.
Yeah.
Cali traffic peak hours. So let's fast forward to. I know you have a military background. You don't have to dig too deep, but what happened there? Right out of high school?
Right out of high school.
Okay.
My grandfather served, my dad served, my brother served.
So generations.
Yeah.
Generations.
So it was just something I always wanted to do. I always felt like I owed some sort of debt either to my community or to my country or anything of that sort. And military service was, in my eyes, the best way to do that. Growing up how I did in high school, most people would never know or never would have guessed the field I decided to go into when I joined the military, which was intelligence. I was an interrogator. So it was very different, especially when you have to play good cop, bad cop. So I've learned a lot there.
So let's dig deep into this family tree. So your dad, he was
Special forces.
Special forces,
Yeah.
born in America?
Yep.
Born in America. And then
Born.
your dad. So you're like third generation then?
Third generation. Yeah. My grandfather's.
Oh, actually,
Parents.
after meeting your mom, your mom was from the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm also in the Philippines. My dad's family, or his grandfather.
He looks mixed.
They're from France.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we
They're
go.
from France. They came from France to Canada and Maine.
Okay.
So, it was the whole side of the family except for my dad and his older sister speak French. So they just kind of stopped because they were the youngest out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom's side of the family, none of her she didn't speak to us in Tagalog or Ilocano or anything like that because she was trying to learn English herself when she moved over here after.
And they didn't want to confuse the kid.
Yeah.
They didn't want to confuse the kid.
Yeah,
same here with my parents. Do you speak any?
Nope.
None.
I can't even understand.
You know what's the craziest part? Third generation Hispanics, they didn't even know Spanish. Yeah, because now we're just Americans.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. So military, how many years?
5.
5. What was your biggest takeaway from the military? Being in the intel, well, actually going through the whole system, because it's very systematic. There's do's and don'ts. The grays. That there isn't much grays. There's more. There's a lot of gray, but more black and whites when you're going through training.
Yeah, when you're going through training, a lot of black and white. There's,
Yes.
There's a right way, there's a wrong way, and that's it.
Correct.
Can't go too much into deployment, but
Okay.
that's where a lot of the gray areas.
So let's give these young viewers. You have a lot of young viewers too. Yes or no when it comes to military? When it comes to, because you had a purpose, you felt like you always had to give back. But when it comes to, if you didn't feel that way, would you recommend it as a career path or it as a deviated path to a path that you want? A platform. I would call it, like school is a platform for me. Yeah.
I feel like you can't serve for the wrong reasons.
Tell me a little bit more.
I feel like a lot of people join the military because they want to have their college paid for. I think that's the wrong reason.
I understand. Yes,
So
yes.
you have to want it in some sort of sense. That desire to serve. Otherwise, you're going to be doing it all wrong. You're going to have a miserable time in the military. For someone like me, I loved every bit of it. I love the people I met. I love my job. I love the training. I was smart enough to bite my tongue when I need to bite my tongue. These people who feel like they're entitled to something, they're going to have a really difficult time. But again, things are changing, time's changing, and things have gotten easier. So who knows?
The keynote I actually got from that is understanding your why.
Absolutely.
Because
Always.
like I kind of told my current intern Randy right now too, is even my whole team, once you kind of understand your why, it just makes the whole process so much easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You don't question yourself.
Not one bit.
Yeah.
That's why this whole process of doing what I'm doing now, it's I know why I'm doing it. So you know,
Okay.
it's made everything pretty.
That's a little nugget right there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a little commercial break, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. So the piece of nugget I actually got from Jeremy, and the biggest part is, I'm a true believer in this, is once you understand your why going through life, going through anything in life, even like if you're at a job, a basic 9 to 5, if you understand why you're doing it and you're not resenting, I think that's the key word, resenting why you're there, it just makes your life so much easier once you understand your why. So we got your why based on recommendations. My question to you was, if there's a young kid somewhere and they're like, hey, being in the military is a great platform to be in.
Yeah.
That's perfect for you, but understand why you're doing it.
Absolutely.
Don't use it to use the service. Use it as a building block. 100%.
Because I've gotten several DMs about that. You know, people wanting to join and why I did it and if they should.
And then if you go to high schools and colleges, they're actually salesmen. They're not preaching the correct information because it's so biased.
Yeah.
So I fully understand. So the next part on top of this is your transition. So transitioning from out of how many years in the service?
5.
5 years in the service. Deployed?
Yes.
You got deployed. Which country did you got deployed to?
Iraq for a year.
Oh, Iraq. Okay. So this transition to bodybuilding. This is interesting. It's a huge pivot in your career.
Yeah. Well, again, I was always, and still am, a pretty small kid.
Okay.
Or adult now.
Yeah.
But I was a small kid growing up. You know, my mom was even talking about to my girlfriend how a lot of her friends would call me Payato, which means skinny. And I believe it's Ilocano or Tagalog. I can't remember which dialect.
Same here.
But so I was a skinny kid. I was small growing up. I graduated high school at 116 pounds. So you know, I joined the service, and you know, right off the bat through basic training, I put on about 10 pounds. And then I stayed.
Thought he was like a beast at 10 pounds.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm 127 now. Hell yeah. And then when I was deployed, I deployed in 2009. I really started training as a way of relieving my stress and kind of taking my mind away from everything that was going on while deployed. You know. And I actually started seeing results from being constantly in the gym. You know, I started growing. I started actually taking supplements. Cell Tech, that was the it thing, and I love Cell Tech when I was training.
For me, it's Jack 3D.
Yeah, well, I was using that too. I was using
the
like 4
Jacked.
scoops of Jack. 4 scoops of Jack. My ears
4?
were tingling. Yeah.
I couldn't get past like 2.
I was doing
4?
4.
Oh my god.
4 scoops. I'm a stim junkie.
Yeah.
But I ended up leaving deployment like around 150-ish.
So you got some good size.
Yeah,
You're like,
I
all right, I got
decent
momentum.
size.
You found a hobby. It's
Yeah.
actually a stress reliever.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, I kind of like this.
Yeah, you know, you see positive changes from it, regardless of what you're doing. Like I said, you get that mental clarity. You look at yourself in the mirror, you feel good. It was just all around beneficial. You know, you perform better. You're healthier. You pay attention to what you eat more. So there's literally no downside to it.
But more upside.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's just something that stuck with me after deployment, especially after seeing, you know, people that were in my unit and I hadn't seen that whole year. When they saw me when I got back, they were just like, "What the hell happened to you?" Like you probably have the most expensive piss in Iraq right now. I was like, hey, "There's just good old Cell Tech and pre-workout."
Yeah, well.
So I was lucky enough to where I was stationed in Iraq, we had a better dining facility. It's one of the bigger ones, but again, where I was stationed, it was also a pain in the ass because we were known for getting mortared all the time. So it was kind of like a this for that.
It was a blessing.
Yeah,
it was a blessing
in a sense because I was able to eat.
Yeah. So getting some kind of traction within actually your internal self. Within that trashing, you left the service for 5 years, and then you transitioned into what after the service? Did you go into limbo? Or what happened?
Definitely went in limbo. I was one of those perfect examples of finding your way back into civilian life.
You always hear stories like that.
It was very challenging.
What was the biggest challenge?
Well, I felt like I had something set in stone. I took a test for the Border Patrol about a year before I got out.
Okay.
However, you're never really prepared for how long that process could take. So
you don't get like a quick pass?
No.
Wow.
So basically, I took that test a year before I got out, and it took a while before, almost a year after I got out, before like they wanted to really fully continue on with the process, the interviewing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So within that time period of getting out, I'd saved enough money to where I was set for like 3 or 4 months.
There you go. You save. Okay,
Yeah.
done.
But after that was hard. I didn't really kind of have a plan too much. So I went into car sales. I did that for
No
2
way.
weeks.
You're a car salesman.
2 weeks.
I'm
I went through the learning
gonna
process.
put pivot to
Yeah.
car salesman.
Mhm. So a lot of people know that accurate.
You know what's the craziest part? I have this prestige title of CEO,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, if you cut me open, I'm a salesman at heart.
No.
I'm selling
See,
this
I'm
company.
not the biggest salesman though.
But every day you're selling
I
you're
sell.
selling the Jeremy brand
Yeah,
right now.
I can sell that, but like when it comes to
he's like I can sell that.
When it comes to something that I'm not like wholeheartedly in.
100%. You have to sell with conviction.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to
so-
sell with conviction, and you had no conviction in Acura.
Not at all.
Sorry, Acura. You're not sponsored by this video. But so you pivoted to border control. It took too long. You pivoted again into car salesman, and then what else did you pivot into?
Well, when I was doing my car sales, I found was it Craigslist ad for personal training.
Oh,
So
personal training.
personal
Okay.
training at Gold's Gym,
Okay.
and went in for an interview. The guy who was hiring was actually he was an active duty Marine.
Oh, okay.
So he had 2 gigs, but liked me right off the bat, like my demeanor, the way I carried myself. Of course, I looked the part.
Was this when you're still loud, Jeremy, or you're kind of composed now?
I'm still pretty composed.
Okay.
Now, however, after getting in the military, you kind of try to enjoy life a little bit more with less restrictions. So I'd go out to DC, 'cause that's where my family was from, and enjoy my weeknights and weekends there, and have a good time or two.
So from personal training, how long did that gig last?
Personal training lasted probably about 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
believe,
So what
but-
happened there?
Well, personal training, you can't make that. Personal training at a gym, a corporate gym, you can't make good money there, unless you're hired full time as like a personal training director or something. And
Okay.
you put on salary. So I had to build up my clients. Wasn't making money. I was making like $300 a paycheck, if that. So not even enough to really pay the bills. Ended up finding out, or ended up applying for GNC.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
You see this, guys? The career to success is a lot of pivots. I'm gonna put another GNC.
So just as a part-time sales associate, I ended up having a meeting with the regional director. And the interview went really well, where he actually ended up giving me my own store, hired me
Nice.
as a store manager full time,
Nice.
on salary. So that was a big turning point for me, in that I'd be financially secure again.
You're like, I got traction and control now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I had never worked retail day in my life.
Retail's another beast.
So that was a big learning experience. I actually ended up taking over a store where there was a former druggie that ran the store, basically. So
Oh.
I found out the hard way that he was basically giving away product for drugs through.
Bartering. You see that? Bartering.
Yeah,
Respect
but
to the dude.
I actually
he bartered well.
I actually had a good thing I had things to prove all of this, because as soon as
Correct.
something would happen, I would bring.
They're
it up
gonna
to the
check your
right?
book. They're like, why isn't this
Yeah, see,
aligning?
loss prevention. I took a bite of the ass, because
Yeah.
loss prevention, I think it was like $7,000.
Oh, ouch.
And because of the former manager's like history, I didn't take too much of a hit, but it was still under my responsibility. But I was lucky in that I was finding crack spoons in the back. I would find heroin needles. The former employee that was working with him, that was still an employee there with me, would and tell me how things were.
I'm
So
pretty sure you guys talked about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So how long did that gig last for?
that one was also about 9 months.
9 months. Okay,
So-
9 months.
I did that for a while. I was doing that. So I was doing store managing and personal training at the same time.
Yeah,
So my days would start at about 4 or 5 o'clock,
Mhm.
where I'd either get up to go train
correct.
or get up to go open the store,
Interesting.
and then they would end at about 11.
So
p.m.
you actually prioritize training first,
Yeah.
and then daily tasks later. Interesting.
Well, I didn't have much time for anything because I was literally working from 7 to 11.
Okay. So
So-
it's either you get it in or you don't get it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's a lot of pivot. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna take a little break.
All right.
If there's any more pivots, we'll pivot some
Yeah.
more. But we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. We had a very exciting piece before this. After being in the military, Jeremy left the service, and then he literally pivoted through life. So what pivot means is if this doesn't work and you know it doesn't work, you move on. You don't be bitter about it. You don't stay there, complain and bitch about it. You just move on and find what's gonna work
Yeah.
for Jeremy. So it was board control. You applied. It took too long to go through the process. Your car salesman for 2 weeks. Personal training for 8 months. GNC for 9 months. At the same time, you had some money saved up too. So you didn't have to get gigs really didn't want to get.
Yeah, the only time I had that gig was that car sales.
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
only
You're like, I'm
time.
just gonna try this out.
Well, that was when I ran out of my savings, basically. I was like, all right, Oracle's taking too long, so.
But just to touch base on savings wise too, guys. Growing up personally, when I was a banker, is I actually stress the fact about savings, because savings has two things that's gonna do mentally for yourself. The first thing that savings is gonna do is, number one is it's gonna force you not to live from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Terrible feeling, and we've all done that before, paycheck to paycheck. The second thing with having a good saving account is you don't have to take gigs. You can say no to stuff. The option to say no in life, huge. The last thing about saving too is when you have money in the bank account, it gives you opportunities. You can say yes to stuff when opportunity arises.
Yeah.
So, low tip from you guys: have a saving for those rainy days. It does
Yeah.
happen more often than none.
Yeah, it definitely does.
You said you have one more pivot.
Yeah, well, society tends to plant several things into your head, school being one of them.
School. Yes.
So I decided that managing was definitely not for me, or
Why?
working retail.
Okay, working retail.
Yeah,
isn't
working
it?
retail is not for me. You know,
We're not gonna even get into retail because retail's a different beast.
yeah, it was just
Yeah.
I couldn't stand
Yeah.
retail. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, paychecks were good, but at the end of the day, I was pretty miserable.
Yeah.
So, I decided to go to school. You know, I had the GI Bill.
What is a GI Bill?
GI Bill is something you get if you serve after 3 years and have been honorably discharged.
Correct.
Basically, they pay for your college, your cost of living, things of that sort, depending on the area that you live.
For how long is that GI Bill?
36 months.
36 months.
So
But you have to, I'm guessing, have certain units to qualify
yeah,
for
so
this
you
GI
have
Bill.
to at least be at minimum. Well, actually, depending on your cost of living, for instance, you have to at least be 12 credits, which
Okay.
is full-time student.
Okay.
So to get your entire cost of living, which where I was at was about 2,400, somewhere around there. So of course you're getting, you get your education and you don't have to worry about bills. So with that, you're allotted a lot of free time as well.
Correct.
And while I was doing the managing, I was actually getting ready for my first competitions and things of that sort.
At GNC.
Yeah, while I was
Okay.
at GNC.
So why?
Why was I doing competitions?
Yeah.
I had a friend that was personal training with me at Gold's Gym, and she was on her journey to her pro card in bikini, and she had actually received her pro card at I was gonna say the 2013 Miami Nationals, I believe.
You want to give her a plug? Who's
Ali
this?
Garcia.
Ali
So
Garcia.
she's
There's a
bikini
little plug
pro.
for you, buddy. You're going to find her. Randy, you're going to find her.
Yeah, but,
Okay.
so she told me about men's physique,
Ooh.
and she was like, I think.
So men's physique division, it's about
just
4 years old?
starting. Yeah, it was
4
just
years old by
starting
now?
at that point. I think
Yeah.
like 2012 is when it was starting, or
Correct,
2010, something like
correct.
that. She was like, "There's this division called men's physique. I think you'd be perfect for it."
Mm.
So I looked into it, picked a show, asked one of the other trainers.
Stop you right there. When you
Yeah.
looked into it, what gave you some signs that you're like, all right, I think I could do this? Because some people
Well, I had
jump
no idea.
into a division blindly, like they don't do their homework.
That's
what you
essentially,
did?
Well, picking the division is essentially what I did. Well,
Yeah.
because I liked bodybuilding when I
Yes.
started training while I was
Yes.
in Iraq. You know,
Yes.
I watched motivational YouTube videos of guys
Yep.
like Jay Cutler, Branch Warren, all them training.
Yep.
When she told me about men's physique, I looked up what it was, what it entailed. You know, guys like Mark Anthony and Sadiq were the guys who were kind of paving the way at the time. Mark Anthony was the one winning all the shows.
Yep.
So kind of modeled everything after him for the most part. And there was another trainer at my gym. His name's Ken Setapani. He's actually an IFBB Pro men's physique guy now too, but we decided to do our first show together. And he coached me through it basically. His nutrition, he was older. He's 40, about 40 something now, I believe. But he ended up going pro within like 3 shows, I believe.
Wow.
At Masters Nationals.
No, and the craziest part is being a pro back then is very tough too.
So we did our first couple shows together. And he got me all the way up until the national level where I placed 3rd at my first national show.
So what is the national show? Give you guys a little more context.
Okay, so
yeah.
the way this works is it's broken up into regional, national, and pro level.
Okay.
So your regional level is where you compete, usually locally.
Hometown.
Yeah. And based on how you place there, if you get a top 5 placing or top 3 placing, it qualifies you for your national level shows, depending on
Correct.
which one you want to hit.
Correct.
Now your national level shows, those are all pro card qualifiers. So if you win a national level show, then you earn your IFBB pro status.
Okay.
So
So give me. So we're gonna GI Bill. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do my first show. I think I got some confidence. You got some muscle on you. You have some growth. You have actually some good mentorship along the way too. It seems like there was some good mentors.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna put that down too. Mentor. I'm a huge fan of mentorship. Just the fact that if you can't help or get the energy or get the just the circle that you want, reaching out to a mentor, it seems like it's a very awkward transaction sometimes. But those little mentors that changes your mind, the way you think, the way you train, the way you even operate with nutrition, it helps a lot.
absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So you had 2 mentors along the way. Or not 2, a friend and then a mentor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, said Ken was a big mentor
Yeah.
while I was going through everything because we were learning everything as we were going.
Okay.
You know, we'd actually do our posing practices at the end of the
Nice.
night and all that.
Nice.
Going over, watching YouTube videos of these
Correct.
posers.
So you got consumed and obsessed.
It was, I wouldn't say that. It was just, something we took seriously. We didn't want to go to our
Okay.
first show and just completely tank it, even though we still didn't really know what it entailed.
So you prepped.
Yeah, we prepped. Basically went through the right process of prepping.
Okay.
So
So how many amateur shows before you qualified to national?
I qualified right off the bat.
So first show.
I placed 4th my first show.
Okay. 4th.
My second show, I got the overall.
Okay. It's still an amateur.
Yeah,
Okay.
so regional level.
Okay.
And then I did my 3rd show, which was my first national show, and I got 3rd place.
3rd place at national. 3rd at national.
Actually, that's one where Tanel went pro. And then I did my 2nd national show and did not place.
I'm gonna put a scratch right here at 0.
Well, no, that was the most important show for me.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that I was just like, all right, this is too inconsistent. I'm done.
So no, 4th, 1st, 3rd. You're on a good roll. And then you got, let's say 0.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
I wasn't judged, so.
So what happened there? Mentally.
Mentally, like I said, I still didn't really understand the whole concept of going pro or what they were looking for. People would be like, oh, you got a great V-taper. I was like, what the hell's a V-taper? So.
Upside down triangle.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't know any of that lingo. It's like,
Yeah.
I didn't know I had a full chest or anything like that. Like,
Correct.
I didn't really understand all that stuff.
You didn't even know about genetics on the build out.
Nah, really, no.
I was just busting ass.
Yeah, I was working out at the gym.
Correct.
I wasn't really training for anything specific.
Okay.
And it was just,
So organically, like it or not, you had traction organically too.
Yeah.
But then you question yourself, it's like, should I? Because these shows cost money.
yeah, absolutely do. Oh, yeah, they do.
The average show's around 500 plus.
Easily.
Easily.
'Cause you got
National is even more
hotels.
expensive.
Yeah, exactly. You got your hotels.
Well, actually, yeah, with a hotel, it's gonna be like at least a G for
Yeah.
sure.
So, after not placing, I figured I was going to say screw it and just keep working out and focusing on other ventures.
Okay.
But eventually, I think it was Ken who convinced me to just kind of go ahead and do one more national show, which was the 2014 Miami Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Decided, well, why not? Just prep for it, and ended up placing first there and getting my pro card. So.
Okay. So that's a huge part right there.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break. Not this break, but this break.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened here? So you're down in you got kicked with dirts.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we gotta take a break. Sorry. All right, we're back, guys. Jeremy actually just dug deep into his career. What we found out after GNC is he utilized his GI Bill, which is a free ride for 36 months.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to balance school and even if you were working at GNC and then personal training yourself.
I stopped GNC.
Oh, so you stopped GNC.
Yeah.
So you knew you couldn't balance too much.
No.
Okay.
No, not a full-time job and a full-time student.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So you understood what your capacity when it comes to
Yeah.
time-wise. So you're like school and training,
Mm-hmm.
done. Your two thing, and then within your career too, we just found out another pillar, another nugget is you actually align yourself with people that were doing the same stuff, which is huge. Your inner circle, like it or not, is huge. It sounds very corny. There's a lot of memes out there. Your top 5 is whatever it is,
Yeah.
but it's actually very true. It's the energy that you're looking for to propel yourself to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And luckily and locally, you had 2 mentors that helped you out on your show. So his first regional show, he did 4th place. After that, he got 1st overall at a regional. And then national, he missed his pro card because you got 3rd place.
Yeah.
And then after that, he came back with a vengeance, and then he didn't even placed.
Mm-hmm.
So you took a huge L.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's the biggest L in your career right here.
Yeah.
So now, as a young, inspiring bodybuilder, entrepreneur, they took a L after being so high.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come back from this L?
Well, I've spoken about it before in a couple of my videos I've done for
Videos
YouTube.
that Bill produced?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, little plug.
Bill Studio. But it just came back down to my why not.
Oh, all right. So tell me a little bit more about the why not.
I was, I'm young.
How young were you?
I was 24.
24. All right, very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 24.
Okay.
I had the time. It was still something I enjoyed.
Okay.
And just because, like I say, you take that L doesn't mean you necessarily give up, especially when it is something that you're passionate about.
Okay.
So you are going to have those setbacks, and for me, the big thing was how inconsistent things were. That's what you hear about growing up, or when you're pursuing this, is how inconsistent things can be with judging, because it's all very subjective.
100%.
It's all based on who you're in front of. So I figured, I'll just train my ass off just a little bit harder,
Okay.
give it one more shot, and if I take another big L, then I'll call it there.
Okay.
So
So you gave yourself a goal too. If this better not be a L, and then you
Yeah.
got 1st in Miami. Okay. So right now we're gonna go to the business aspect of this too, because upcoming athletes, I think right off the gate, because I competed, I could get sponsorships. Shit doesn't make sense.
no, not at all.
Let's be clear here, guys. Shit doesn't make sense because you're stepping on stage and you're expecting free handouts.
It's that I talk about it a lot, but I can't stand it when people feel like they're self-entitled.
Oh, that's the key word. Okay. So let's talk about the business. So we understood why you got 1st, your why not. I'm gonna come back to it. Doing all these shows, this money was coming back out of your pocket.
Yes.
Cool. The second thing is, did you had any sponsorship by then?
No.
Okay. Because.
Who was I?
Exactly. And you're still grinding.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't feel entitled. You knew there was more work to be put
Absolutely.
in.
There's always more work.
And then at the same time, so guys, viewers, this isn't a full-time job. This is actually, that's going to be digging into your savings account, digging into your paycheck to make this lifestyle happen,
Don't
right?
don't do it.
Yeah, don't quit your full-time job for this.
And don't do a GoFundMe.
Yeah, don't go. And then I just want the audience to know too is just the fact that it's not that easy.
No.
If you look at football, you look at soccer, you look at basketball, you look at tennis, the people that really truly get paid are the 0.01% of athletes. Everybody else gets crumbs, right? So people get to see the 0.01 as if it's a mass, but it's not.
Yeah.
They just get glamorized as a mass, but it's not.
Well, there's also a lot of people out there that put on a front.
That they are getting
that
paid.
they are getting paid.
But they're
all-
really not.
Yeah.
Yes. So, beautiful. Beautiful. But let's be real here. That's so we're just being real. The other part too is after Miami. So after turning pro, there's another pivot. So I'm guessing this pivot, on my perspective, why if I turn pro is like, should I pursue proness?
Yeah. That's kind of what happened. I landed my first two sponsorships,
Okay.
almost right after.
Nice.
One was with a local company, but they were shipping at least nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
They were called Let's Get Made.
Yes.
So they were startup was basically funded by the owner Mac and Randall of Liffit.
Correct.
So it was said for it to be a local company. I had a friend who was sponsored by them, and I reached out to them. You know, I didn't really know too much about anything, so I reached out
Correct.
to them and had a meeting with the owner and kind of had similar views on things. So we ended up working together, and the other company was a company called Puritan's Pride. They do online sales, retail.
Correct.
And they have their sports line, which is called Myology. So I ended up signing with them. It was a $300 a month contract. So.
And that $300 a month doesn't do anything.
It doesn't, but at the same
it's
time.
nice for food. It's
Well, it opened the doors kind of to what could be possible, because again, $300 to anybody really, especially in this industry that's so saturated, goes a long way.
It does.
There's a lot of people now. It's just, hey, here's your discount code,
Yep.
and that's that.
You didn't complain.
I
You're
never-
like,
I know,
I'll
I never
take this
did.
blessing.
I would have taken free product. So, it was just, it kind of opened my eyes to what's possible. And my friend who went pro with me,
Uh-huh.
he ended up getting a contract with Allmax. I believe he said it was about $32,000. So I'm over here with a $300 a month, $1,200 a year basically, or I think did I do my math right? Yeah, $1,200 a year, and he went to $32,000 right off the bat. So I'm just sitting here like, all right, there's definitely more. to be made.
So why do you think that happened? That's a huge why too.
Just a bigger company. I reached out to him. For me, I stuck with the company because this company was giving me product before.
Correct. So you actually enjoy the products.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were giving me product like a month or two before I actually did nationals. So
Correct.
I kind of, it's like, well, I'll stick with them, ride
Okay.
it out. But yeah, just working with these companies kind of open up my eyes to what else could be there.
Okay. Nice. So you continue on to your career. So the thing I want to touch base on, and we didn't get a chance last time, is this grind that you have to go through within the pros. So within the pros, guys, you guys are not familiar with, is you're not competing regional anymore. You're competing with the world. There's IFBB pros that fly in from other states and other countries to compete with you. So how was this grind? How was this grind? So after Miami, how was this grind, and how long was this grind?
Well, after Miami, I was still still in school.
Okay.
So that was priority. Making sure I didn't end up failing any classes, so I didn't have to pay the government back. But after a while, I wanted to kind of see what else was out there for me.
Okay.
I was still training every day, still getting ready for my pro debut. Because at that point, I picked my pro debut to be the Mile High Pro, which was, I believe, in May. So I was working towards that. But at the same time, I figured if I really want to do something with this IFBB Pro status, that I couldn't stay in Virginia. So
you pivoted again.
yeah.
There we go. Just pivots after pivots. And then you decided California.
I decided California.
Why pursue the Californian dream?
Because California fitness thrives out here. Fitness is it's just
It's true.
It's unlike
It's
any
the
anywhere
Mecca.
else. It is.
It's the Mecca.
You know, I thought
Arnold even did his transition here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought of two places, and one of them being Miami
Mhm.
area,
Mm-hmm.
one of them being California. And
Yeah.
honestly, I just did not want to go to Miami.
Okay.
So, I picked Cali. Found a couple schools that I could kind of pursue something that would keep me within the fitness industry. So, they're called the National Personal Training Institute.
Mhm.
Basically, get you certified in a bunch of different courses. So through that, I got my corrective exercise, performance exercise, NASM, nutrition.
So you're certified too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did all of that. But I had to pick between two schools, one in Costa Mesa, one in San Diego.
Mm.
The one in San Diego was just more feasible because of the start date. So it gave me enough time to really get my shit together, make sure I had enough saved, and make the move cross country. So.
Guys, we're gonna take a break. Guys, welcome back. There was a lot going on. The last nugget that we got from the last conversation was Jeremy going to his little box where he goes, "Why not?" I'm at 24. I took a huge L to my career, but like, why not? Right? But at the same time, you understood your why. It's like there's more upside than downside.
Yeah.
So this why not actually made sense, right? And then after you became pro, you're like, you know what? If I actually want to make this a career out of, I have to transition.
At least give myself more opportunity.
More opportunities. More opportunities. And you decided between Miami, Florida, or California. But then at the same time, you're still juggling with school.
Yeah.
And remember, guys, this dude went pro. Like, he didn't drop the world and be like, I'm pro. The world is my oyster, and everyone should bow down to me. He goes, no, it's not feasible yet.
No, not at all.
But I'm going to still transition to California, which doesn't make sense at the same time.
Yeah. Like I said, for me, it was all about opportunity because
It is, it is.
You know, if you
saw the optimism.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
you're
work
optimistic
hard and
about
you miss
this.
opportunity with that,
Yes.
then you're destined to get somewhere
Okay,
with it. At least in my eyes.
okay.
You know, I feel like I've always been the type where I'm going to work for what I want.
Uh-huh.
So I know if I put myself in front of better opportunity with my work ethic, I would get to where I want to get.
Interesting.
So-
Well, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into that aspect. What do you mean by work ethics? That word gets tossed around very often, but what is work ethics?
I learned a lot from my dad.
Okay.
He wasn't gifted anything.
Okay.
He worked hard for everything that he has.
Okay.
You know, he put in the hours.
Mhm.
He put in the overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's living a life that he's happy with.
Mm.
He's going to retire in a couple months, and he's doesn't have to do a thing after that.
Mm.
You know, so just seeing the way my dad went about things, the way he went about his life, and even now that he doesn't have to do anything after he retires, I know he still wants to, just so he can make sure everything's paid off sooner.
Yes, yes, yes.
So for me, work ethic is just kind of putting in that more than what's necessary to make sure you're creating that lifestyle that you want to live or want to provide for your future family or your future self down the road. So that's to me what work ethic is. You know, not taking any shortcuts, doing everything you need to do, and then some.
I truly believe it. Some people think they're shortcuts. I truly
Yeah.
believe it. And through my YouTube, I try to showcase as much as possible. Being 2.5 years into this company, I still have to do the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't believe it. It's like, wow, you still do the dirt? I was like, of course I gotta still do the dirt. It's part of this process. You can't teach without learning.
Yeah.
And you can't keep on learning without refining what you already know. And that's just based on work ethics.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say no. You just gotta do.
Yeah.
I truly believe it. For California, California's expensive.
Well,
Well, luckily you had the GI Bill.
it was. I looked at cost of living in California, so it's not like I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to go to this place and make
You're
it.
not going to like LA, but you're going to San Diego.
Well, it was just, it was more realistic at things. I did look
Okay.
at cost of living and everything like
Okay.
that before I decided to make that move.
Okay.
And it was very closely associated with where I was living before because the DC metro area is very expensive as well.
Okay.
So, being able to afford it would have been nothing new. The only difference was maybe gas
Okay.
a little bit.
Yep.
Not even that much.
So what that means, guys, is he did his homework about
Yeah.
California. Some people just pick up and go. Do your homework
Yeah.
about where you're moving to. Control your expenses.
I mean, I did my homework the best I could.
Yep.
You know, I still never visited.
And then life slaps you around with a couple. Oh, just kidding. Your tire just popped.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, oh, come on, guys.
So,
Okay. Transition to California, and then what happened here? So you didn't even step on your on the first show yet after Miami.
no.
No. Okay. So what were you waiting for?
I just want to be ready. I didn't want to be another one of those guys that steps on the pro stage and does nothing as a pro.
So how long was the hiatus?
I got my pro card in November, stepped on stage the last week of June.
November to June.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that was my little hiatus there.
Okay.
Which if you look back at how I did my pro debut, it was pretty decent. I got third place on my pro debut.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Third.
So, but I had to change which shows I want to do because of the move. So that threw me off course a little bit. So originally my pro debut was supposed to be May. Moved that about a little under 2 months.
So what happened there? You got into the pro show. Guys look freakishly huge, or you're like, I'm pretty good stacked.
It was a very interesting lineup.
Okay.
You had a lot of people. You had a few people that were already Olympians.
Okay.
You had a few people that have already won shows.
And you're this newbie pro coming in.
Yeah.
All right.
So, the guys who beat me at that show were Jake Alvarez. So he was actually making a name for himself right around that time. He was with bodybuilding.com.
Correct. He was on his ramp. I remember that
yeah,
ramp.
he was
Yes.
coming up.
Yep.
And then James Hurst was
James
another
Hurst.
one. He was
James Hurst. Not familiar. Didn't pop on my radar.
yeah, he won a pro show earlier that year. He was basically the face next to Sadiq of Dark Sport at the time. And this was right
James
as I
Hurst.
was getting on board with Dark Sport too. So I signed with Dark Sport about 2 weeks before doing that show. But you had Felipe Franco doing that show.
Felipe flew into the show too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's a huge account in Mexico, right? Mexico,
No,
pretty
Brazil.
Brazil.
He's
Yeah.
the king of
So like
Brazil.
we said, international flying in to
Yeah.
compete. Yeah.
So like that year before, he had placed second to Jeremy
Okay.
at that same show. So it
Okay.
was the San Jose Pro. So yeah, I took third at that show, and my goal there was to see how I did as a pro, not
So
to make it to the Olympia.
So it's I would call that a precursor to
Can I do anything as a pro?
can I do anything? Yeah. Am I going to be second call out? Which everybody starts freaking out
Yeah.
about second call out. So it was prelude.
Yeah.
Prelude. There you go. There you go. Prelude. All
Like I
right.
said, for me, I didn't feel like I'd be ready for anything like the Olympia or anything like that. You know, this is June. Usually
Okay.
people who do well or place third at their pro debut would continue going
Correct.
to try to make it to the Olympia.
Yes.
Well, for me, it was just like, that's it. One pro show, I'm done. You know,
Wait, you stopped right here?
stopped right there.
You
So,
got third.
I got third.
You
but
stopped.
I just want to see how I do.
It
But
didn't
I
make
knew-
sense now.
To me, it did.
Okay.
Because I still felt like there was a lot of refinement, a lot of growth. Because again, I don't want to be one of those guys who walks into a show just to walk into a show. I don't want to do the Olympia just to say I did the Olympia.
Okay.
So,
Did you meet somebody along the way, or it was like an internal feel?
just internally.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to. I always want to strive for more.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's always been my thing. You know?
So you came back and you audit yourself.
Yeah.
See that, guys? See, I'm putting this in like business term right here. Audit your work. Your work. Okay. So once you audited yourself, what happened there?
Well,
Another hiatus?
no, it was just I went to the Olympia to work the dark sport booth.
Okay.
Every teammate of mine was competing,
Okay.
except for obviously myself.
Correct.
So after going through that experience, I did not want to be a spectator anymore. So that was the big fire under my ass,
Mhm.
as you could say. Ended up taking a little bit of time. I didn't like the way my coach was doing my preps. So I didn't like the process that I had to go through to get to be ready for my pro debut. I ended up getting in touch with Ryan Benson, owner, founder of Team Zero Gravity, around December, and met with him. Basically, got in a few training sessions with him, and we developed a game plan from there and decided we'd hit the stage around March and do the Governor's Cup.
Okay.
Right off the bat, he liked what he saw with me. Thought I had a lot of potential. Thought I had crazy structure and everything like that. So we, again, just started training with him. I'd drive up to the gym 2 hours every day, or not every day, like 2 to 3 times a week. And got ready for that show in March, and I'm placing second. So
real quick, I'm gonna recap on that part too, because you actually pivoted again. After his third show, getting third, which is very good, but then you're like, that's a prelude to what I could do for the future, which is huge, because now you actually have a spotlight from the PUD judges knowing your name now. But at the same time, you audited your own work. You're like, I think I could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then you pivoted again by checking your inner circle.
Yeah.
And you got a new coach. Wow. All right, guys. Little break. Welcome back, guys. Little quick recap. Wow, that's a lot. So after getting third place at his pro show, he actually Jeremy actually came back and pivoted, audited himself, not only his work, which is his physique, but it's actually his inner circle, and he goes, to get to the next level, I think I need to find another mentor, and that's how you connected with Team Zero Gravity, which is the biggest team on the West Coast. And Ryan Benson's known for good work, bringing his guys in well-conditioned, small weights. So it was a very, I would have to say, common sense pivot, but not common sense for everybody too. But you saw that in yourself.
Well, for me, my last coach was an online coach.
There we go.
I needed eyes on.
100%.
So I needed somebody. I was very bad also at not keeping myself accountable during my diets. So my last coach was all about giving me cheat meals.
Correct.
So.
And Ryan Benson's literally like
anti-cheat meal. I like that method.
Yeah. Old school bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Old school. Yeah.
So getting these cheat meals was, I felt like I said, it made that prep something I did enjoy. Did I love having the cheat meals? Yes, but I had to work twice as hard towards the end to achieve what I needed to achieve.
100%.
Because, like I said, if it's online, you don't see this person.
Yes.
I would get my cheat meal, or Neil would be coming this week, so I'd do it on like a Friday. I'd do my check-in pictures Friday and send them on Sunday after cheating all weekend. So it was, like I said, knowing or having that eyes on was what I really needed.
But at the same time, you audit yourself. You're like, this is not good.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make a career out of this, I have to audit myself and change. And change is very scary for people, because people get very attached to the coach, and they're scared to say stuff. But it's like me training my coworkers. If something's wrong and you know it's wrong, you got to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I knew my coach. He was a good coach. He was a friend.
Yes.
He was a good person. It was just for me. I knew what worked better for me.
100%.
So I went with his methods, and I like the way he does things.
Okay. And then for that pro show, you got
second.
Second.
Yeah.
Okay, pro. So how did that make you feel?
It made me feel really good considering I lost to Joe.
Oh, yeah.
So considering I lost to Joe, I was not mad.
Okay.
And again, I compete against Jake again. That show, I beat Jake.
Okay.
That was huge to me.
The one that got first.
Yeah.
Right?
He got second at the last one.
Okay.
James actually won that one.
James won that one.
I think that was his second pro win for James.
Okay.
But it was a big show, bigger lineup.
Whose show was this?
It was the Governor's Cup.
Okay.
And that year overall was just a good year. Like I said, a year under a new coach, or not even a year at that point. Only been 3 months under a new coach, but a coach that has high beliefs in you, changes a lot, especially in the way you see things. For somebody who's been in the industry, who's seen it all, knows how it all works, to sit there and say like you're gonna go far.
But what if he's fluffing?
He could have been fluffing, but I guess, hearing it from him, and having him see me in person, and at this point I was also starting to garner more of a social media following as well.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing from these people, like, now I understood what they meant by small waist, great V taper, your back is crazy, full chest, things of that sort. I could see it in myself. I started to see it in myself that, like, all right, maybe this is what I'm built for. So, again, you have a coach who's been through it, who knows it, understands it, and then you have your supporters telling you that, and then you're starting to see it in yourself. It's all kind of just falling together, falling into place. So, and then obviously you're picking up more, so it's getting higher, better sponsorships, I guess you could say. So obviously these people
they see it too.
Yeah,
they see it too.
They see it as well. So it's not just in your head. It's
okay.
coming from different avenues.
So
So
you're not fluffing up yourself.
No, you're not.
You're getting context from people.
Yeah.
Huge.
So I went and did that show. Got second. 2 weeks later, did the Grand Prix. And took first.
Ooh, okay. Pro again. Grand. All right.
So,
first.
And that was my Olympia qualification. So, I sat there September of that year telling myself I'd never be a spectator to, at the first weekend of April and making that a reality, being a competitor on that stage.
Real quick, before you got to the Grand Prix,
Mm-hmm.
did you do any exercise along the way since your first pro show or even to your first show to being pro? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shows later before you got to Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody gets to Olympia too. Not everybody gets the pro card and not everybody gets to Olympia. So did you have any practice? Well, of course you have the same practices. I just gotta show up every day. I gotta put more work than the average dude next to me. But do you have any other practice that you did along the way to get to this first place? The reason I say that, because I knew after my first amateur show I did for Men's Physique, I wanted to make money in this market.
Yeah.
I knew it was like an itch. It was the biggest itch I ever had, and I was obsessed when I was in Europe, writing all my notes on how to attack this market in different spectrum. So, Built is pretty much easing my own itch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was just I understood that this industry is nothing's going to be given.
Okay.
And like you said, this is a very small percentage of people that can do something with this industry and make a living off of it.
Correct.
Even as a competitor, do you want to be a good competitor? Absolutely.
Yes.
But you're still not going to pay the bills that way.
Okay.
So, I knew I had to be more than just a good competitor.
Okay.
I wanted to find a way to stand out.
Okay.
I wanted to find a way for people to remember who I was or know I'm doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
So obviously my way in this industry, not a lot of people have to go to the competitive
So
route.
what was this legacy blueprint then? Because you told me a couple nuggets right there.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a competitor. I actually want to be known. I want to be respected, and I actually want to make money. So you had a blueprint. So what is this blueprint?
Be different.
Okay.
It was that simple.
In which manners?
Every manner. I know I don't have the prettiest physique out there, but I know I have a very different physique.
Done.
So I wanted that to be known.
Play on your strengths.
Yeah. And I
Just
know
stay freaky.
Yeah.
Okay, play on
Just like
strengths.
I've said it before, and it's just kind of shock people what I can bring to the stage.
Strengths.
The other thing is I actually, the part I enjoy the most out of this is not being the best competitor, but being a source of motivation or inspiration to people and getting to meet these people. That's also something I enjoy.
Okay.
Like I said, my focus has never been to be the best in the world. But if that happens,
It's a
then-
cherry.
Exactly.
I'll take the cherry anytime.
Absolutely. So, but it's more or less what I could accomplish through having a good work ethic and having a positive mindset and just being generally a good person.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. So play your strengths and be the inspiration to others. I'm
But not
guessing.
putting up a front, though.
Yeah,
You know, it's
of course, of course.
It's just being an inspiration through who you are
Correct.
and the way you've gone about things.
So ready. I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper into the business aspect of it too, and touch base on where you're like, oh, even my own personal social was growing.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to have a social presence within this market now, or when you started?
Extremely important. You can't do it without it.
Okay.
You just can't. You know, it's crazy the way that things have changed in that aspect, but I mean that's
Because when
the
amateur,
nature
you
of
didn't
it.
know that. You
Yeah.
didn't know social even existed.
I don't even think I had a social media at that point. So,
Correct.
Even if how long did I started? I remember it was like 100 something weeks ago.
Correct.
But when I started, it was just it wasn't for the purpose of doing anything through it. It wasn't even until once I did become a pro that I kind of started to understand how much of an impact that does make.
Because I remember you invest. Remember, I watched your account for a very long time, and I knew when you knew social clicked. You're like, oh shit, I have to be good on the stage and off the stage. And then your content became more consistent, and you dive into more tools that was given to you on social to further expand and further increase your reach.
Yeah. Well, what I think is crazy is when people reach out to you and they ask you what they can do to grow their social media.
Correct.
And there's not really a set answer that I can give them, because it comes down to you being the person that you are and finding a way to reach out to the people that you want to attract. That's basically what it comes down to.
We're gonna take a break, guys. Sorry. I have to cut them off. There's a bunch of nuggets in this one. Huge nuggets. You guys are so lucky right now. So lucky. Quick recap is Jeremy knew that if I'm not gonna win, I'm gonna play my strengths. All right. I'm not gonna be a spectator. I'm gonna be a competitor. On either on the stage and on social. And then the topic that we got into is how important it is to have your socials channels up and alive and thriving, and how even your social is going to dictate how big your future is going to be too.
Yeah.
And for you, is you understood that when you became a pro, because as an amateur you didn't care. Amateur was like dormant, but then you knew as the market is moving that hey, being good on stage and being good on with the social present correlates.
Yeah.
Because not only the fans built you up, the coach built you up, but also getting these energy through social built you up as a person too. And then we left off as in how important is this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, in this industry, it's outside of your work ethic and what you do to improve yourself. You know, the next important thing is your social media.
Yes. And how did you tried your best to emulate the energy that you had internally onto a post or onto a video?
It was just I was just being open about the way I felt about things. You know, I wasn't different. I wasn't putting up a front. I wasn't saying what I thought people would want me to say. You know, saying what was in my mind.
Correct.
So, and I think that's why a lot of people relate to me, is because I've always been a very, I never forget where I came from.
Correct.
You know, I never
gratitude.
Yeah, I never forgot what it took to get to where I'm at.
Yes.
So none of this stuff has ever gotten in my head. I'm the same person I was 5 years ago that I am now. So it's just kind of staying true to those beliefs, your beliefs, and you know, I think people see that and they appreciate that. So it kind of made it easy for me.
Yeah.
You know, it really did. It's just I'm not doing anything out there to stand out. You know, like I've had plenty of opportunity to do photo shoots and have good content, as you say, for these people to put out. But it's not the kind of person I am. For me, it's just about, you know, speaking my mind, putting up what I like, and saying what I want to say.
Good. But at the same time, saying what you want to say needs to have a little filter.
Yeah. You can't.
See, I'm giving you youngins some context right here, some rules and guidelines, because not only you're a pro, but you represent a huge federation.
Yeah, and you're gonna have a lot of people that hate you just because.
Just because.
Just because.
They got so much free time.
Exactly. So,
These motherfuckers that got a lot of free time.
they'll never say a thing to your face, but they will sit there all day behind a keyboard and type a lot of crap.
Yep.
So, as much as social media can build you up, it can knock you right back down.
Yes.
You have to be a strong person, especially if you want to be the kind of person to motivate or inspire anybody. But I've had my moments of weaknesses where I've had a crap ton of hate for no reason.
Yep.
Especially from people who don't understand this industry or this sport.
Yep.
They'll just sit there and rag on you all day.
Yep.
Or being who I am. My name is Jeremy. I'm a top MSZ competitor. So right off the bat, I am automatically associated with the best in the game right now.
Correct.
Who is Jeremy.
Correct.
So, right off the bat, it's either, hey, you're better than him, or hey, you want to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Correct.
So, that stuff could tear a person down easily.
So how did you convert that energy, or you just kind of blocked it off?
Well, for me, it's just, I'm here to create a name and a legacy for myself, not live off anybody else.
Okay.
So, it was easy, as long as I kept that in mind and knowing what I want to do.
Okay.
And knowing that these people who are saying this kind of shit are probably not doing a goddamn thing with their lives.
100%.
They're just sitting there being sad nobodies.
Yep.
So, that I wish would come say something in my face. But they won't.
They
It'll
won't.
never happen. The second you call somebody out and that they're in the same city, I've literally had an opportunity where it's like, hey, I'm going to be in your city. You want to come say this to my face?
Yep.
And they're just like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I was just trying to get a rise out of you. Things like that. But you just got to stay positive.
Okay.
So.
And now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna fast forward, guys, because we're gonna wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. So to now, what's next for Jeremy?
Next for me
this
is
is the pivot to next.
Next is business.
Business. Oh, all right, you're gonna do a pivot to a businessman.
I feel like I've done enough to establish myself as a top competitor in the game.
Yes.
Again, like I said, my focus has never been to be the best, but if that happens, so be it.
Okay.
I want to go out there and kind of do what's been done for me, and that's kind of help or give back a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have been asking for my help for some time now, and
Correct.
I feel like I'm at a point, like I said, where I've established myself. I don't have to go out there and keep doing it,
Mm-hmm.
at least, for multiple times throughout the year. Now I could just kind of go and do what I want to do, partnering with the right people and getting shit done, and
Build the back end of the legacy.
yeah.
Because the resume's set.
Yeah. So just keep it going, because like I said, this stuff you're living off of endorsements, sponsorships doesn't live forever. So you got to kind of, again, try to set yourself up for down the road.
Yeah. I truly believe it. I think we spoke about this before. Being on stage is your resume builder.
Mm-hmm.
Having this this title is your diploma.
Mm-hmm.
But then the back end business part of it, that's where it gets tricky.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see the opportunity. It's a $60 billion market, and it grows every year. And for you not to thrive in it, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Then you're just straight lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any takeaway for the young Jeremys out there? I got a lot of nuggets.
Yeah.
I got. So let me repeat the nuggets.
Yeah.
So the nuggets we got from top to bottom is you got to understand your why, guys. Once you kind of understand your why through any journey into any market, it just makes the whole process so much easier. And from you being active in the military to transitioning out into civilian life, you understood your whys along the way. The second thing is don't take you actually had a lot of L's, and your L's through your pivots. Border control didn't work, car salesman didn't work, personal training didn't work, GNC didn't work, GI Bill was like, you know what, this could work, but then let me see for something else.
Yeah.
And then you pursue men's physique. Even through mentors too. You had mentors that worked, mentors that didn't work. You had shows that didn't work, but then at the same time, you knew that this is the market you want to be in.
It's all about growth.
It is.
So
It is.
I feel like things do have to change, and if
Don't be scared.
if the people you're with aren't going with you, Don't be afraid to drift away. You can't be held back. So.
Guys, you hear that? You hear that? And I'm a true believer in that too. If you feel like you hit a ceiling already, something's wrong internally.
I think it was like when we first started talking too. It was for both of us. Everything was about growth.
Yes.
You know, that's what we both wanted. We wanted to kind of help each other grow.
Yes.
So.
And hopefully I fulfill my part.
So.
And more.
Yeah,
and some.
Hopefully I'm doing the same. But, you know, it's just.
And you kind of notice how I operate too. It's gonna be a long-term effect. I don't need anything upfront, immediate.
Yeah.
But as long as you do your job as an athlete and I do my job as running this company, stuff is gonna flow.
Yeah.
Stuff is gonna flow, and I have no future sighting of us slowing down anytime soon. If we do slow down, it'll probably be my fault, and you guys could quote me on this. It stems from the top down, guys. If you're not growing, the team's not growing, it's my fault.
But that's not happening, so.
Yeah, no, that's what happening. We're so hungry here. We're not happening. But I do want to say congratulations, being top 5 in the world. I take it as a win. People was like, you should have been first, you've been second. Subjective opinions.
Absolutely.
But we're here to do more. And we're here to create a legacy and develop businesses and at the same time inspire other young Jeremys and young JPs to do the same thing.
Yep.
In a smart manner, guys. In a smart manner. Not just diving in and saying fuck it and YOLOs. Life is not based on YOLOs.
Calculate a risk, like you
Calculate a risk.
Oh.
And I truly believe it, and I can't wait to touch base with you 6 months down the road to see how you've built out and for you to go through the emotional aspect of building a business. That's going to be another journey in itself.
Absolutely, I'm excited for it.
Pumped to touch base on that.
Always.
Thanks for your time, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. Click subscribe, motherfuckers. On both the podcast and the YouTubes. Talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Bro.
Good.
Oh, take one. You saw that? One take.